Hear me?
Oh yeah, there you are. Okay.
I got to repeat what I just said. Okay.
All right, I'm going
Uh,
to. All right, I'll
let
hang
me
up
just,
on the backup method of communications. We'll go with
yeah,
this
the phone.
primary right now.
So what I said was, "Good evening, everybody. This is Captain Tinsley, Salty Abandon with the Salty Podcast number 5, and tonight's guest is Key West John. And let's just go. We've already got you out here. So how you doing, John?
I'm doing fine, and greetings from cool and cloudy Key West. I know it's supposed to be normally warm and sunny, but it's kind of cool tonight, like 66 degrees. So it's
Oh my gosh. Well, it's unusually cool here in Gulf Shores, Alabama. It's like 30 degrees.
oh, I know. I shouldn't be
So
complaining. I was complaining to a friend of mine in Annapolis one day. I said, "It's 72. I'm freezing down here," and they were sitting at like 22. So
it is a
anyway,
little
but
bit
it's
nippy when it's windy there in 72. It does feel a little
right.
cool.
Right. Yeah. And sorry
All
for
right.
the
So
technical glitch and the little thing there. I don't know what we were having,
well,
just some
that was
funny things.
mine. Well, that okay. What just happened was was mine. I had turned it off,
Yeah.
but I just want to just tell briefly how I met you. So in 2016, when I had the first full year that I had my Island Packet 27, I
Right.
sailed from Orange Beach to Key West, and
Right.
as I came in to Key West Bight Marina on D Dock, I
Hmm.
met you, and
Right.
just he lived. John lived on his boat on D Dock. He still lives at Key West Bight Marina, but now lives on E Dock. So,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
before
That was very interesting because I think it was very interesting. You had just gotten into sailing, as best I can remember, and
I just
first
gotten my
major trip.
second boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was your
Before we
second. Okay.
start, Before we
Hmm.
start, I'm gonna get a little housekeeping out of the way. If you're watching, whatever platform you're watching from, we finally made it on Instagram Live. Thank goodness, we got a bunch of people over there. That's cool. Everybody like that button, whatever platform you're watching on. And we got to introduce tonight's sponsor, which is me. So I'm Tinsley Myrick, Remax of Orange Beach. I sell Gulffront condos and Gulffront homes and non-waterfront homes in Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, Alabama, and Perdido Key, Florida. And Salty Scotty and I are the Myrick team. We're always in the top 10 in the state, and there are a lot of good teams in the state. So now that we got that out of the way,
All right. Yeah. Got to take care of the sponsors.
yes, let's talk about you living on D Dock and
Oh
the
yeah.
D
Well,
Dock
D Dock.
drama.
I've been there a number of years, and the D Dock is situated where you have all the dingoes, the people that live on the anchor and come in their dinghies. So you get it's just
The
over the
dingy
years, but
people.
yeah, dingoes, dingy people. It became known as the D Dock drama because there was always a little something going on. And of course, you were part of the drama at times, so you came in, and and best I remember, it was really interesting meeting you. So I feel like I followed you in most all of your sailing career. You had just gotten into
Yeah.
it, and it was just really, the one thing I can give us, shout out, or what you want to call it, to you is you've always been able to go after this, to tackle it. Whatever the challenge, you get in there and try to learn. I think that first day that I met you, you were there was a guy down there helping you check your oil. You were just having a little trouble with that, and then you and I worked a little project that you had to tighten something back there on your rail. And so then, we worked out good. We stayed in touch, and I followed you all along your sailing career. And Scotty is when he's helping out, being a great first mate.
Yeah.
And so it's been, and the learning process. And what you're so good about this, you go after it. You're not afraid to jump on it. And when you get to an area you don't know, you ask questions. You get somebody to help you, but you go for it. I mean,
Well, I
you
appreciate that.
take off across the Gulf, and of course we have many stories that have happened with
Yeah.
your. I mean, I think one of the most bizarre ones was backing up a little bit. You were in Carabel, and I happened to be in Tallahassee, and you were
Oh
having
yeah.
trouble with your alternator. Um, Not charging, or I think there was a little charging problem. And so I said, well, okay, we just probably need to tighten the belt. So we get over there and I look, I said, yeah, the belt's loose. I said, we need to tighten it. Of course, you didn't have tools. So we go down to the store and get a
No, we went
metric
to the
set.
little hardware store
Yeah,
across
we
the
went to the
way.
hardware store. We got the metric. So fortunately, you got that, and then we got that going on the way. But then I guess a year or two later, 3 years, and Salty Scotty are coming across the Gulf, and you had inReach, and your alternator belt broke, which
No,
and
it was starting to make noise because
oh
Scott
yeah,
heard
yeah,
it, and
yeah.
it was starting to fray. So we were having an argument about.
Oh,
I said to no, I don't. Maybe it wasn't that time. I remember I asked you. This was years ago. I know how to do this now, just for the record.
yeah. Oh
But
yeah,
I
I know
remember
that.
I
So you've
said,
learned
"I
all this
can't
stuff.
remember which bolt to loosen," and you told me in a couple of sentences over the inReach Explorer, "We're out of
Yeah.
cell service, everybody. We're out of cell,"
Oh yeah.
in very precise language, which one, and I completely understood. And
Mhm.
so
Oh, it
Scott
was
and
a
I
very
did that.
interesting project because we were back at that, and that's not instant emails. They take a minute or
Yeah,
two,
yeah.
and I think you guys did wait until sunrise before you got a hold of it. And but you're in the middle of the night, and we're back and forth, communicating on how to change this belt, and you and Scotty
Actually,
did
we
it.
just tightened it. We tightened it.
Okay, okay. Well,
Oh,
I remember, but you made the adjustment, but I don't remember
maybe
that.
maybe you're right. Maybe we did change it.
Yeah.
You got a good memory.
I can't. I just remember I was very impressed that you guys were out there in the middle of the Gulf, and
Arguing.
yeah. Hey, no, you're not arguing. You're just explaining why you're right. That's
We were debating.
yeah. You're not arguing. You're just explaining why you're right. Okay. So anyway, but you guys got it done, and I thought, man, this is amazing to communicate. Several hundred miles out in the Gulf, and but anyway, you've just always been after. You go after things when things break. You just go after learning everything you can about this, and that's good. And you're going to be a diesel mechanic one day.
I hope so. Maybe not, but I always have that credit card.
You got the bleeding of the fuel system down, and it's just
Yeah.
yeah.
You've walked
So,
me through that before too.
yeah, so it is fun to since we've had similar engines, and it makes it kind of
Right.
easy.
So something that John has always been really good with, as you can see from his underneath his name, Key West John, Boeing 737 captain and 25-ton master boat captain. So he's a captain, but he's retired captain, airline captain with Southwest. And so because you've been sailing your whole life?
Well, back on
most of it?
my sailing career, and this is if you've got about 2 or 3 minutes, this is
Sure.
my whole nutshell on that. Back in the 70s, which I don't know if many of you people remember the 70s, but it was I'm talking about 1970s, and anyway, a friend of mine, he raced catamarans, little Prindle 16s, Hobie Cat 16s, and he needed a jib person, so I became his jib guy, or jib crew, and I learned that's what I got into sailing. And we were, you on the little catamarans like that, you're flying the hull, you're up in the air. To get the max speed, you got to get out on the trapeze, which I don't know if you're familiar with. That's when you're attached to a line up to the mast, and you're out on a harness with your feet on the hull, and so you get the maximum amount of weight out to keep it, going as fast as you can. So anyway, that's where I got into sailing. I really enjoyed it, and I love the catamarans, and I'd get on the little sunfish. And so I went on boats that you would turn over a lot. Okay, so turning over was, was kind of like a normal thing. You screw up and you turn over. So later on, I wanted to get into monohulls, and so I said I want to do this right. So I went to Steve and Doris Colgate, their school, offshore sailing in South Seas Resort. In Captiva. So anyway, I just wanted to get grounded.
Oh, yeah.
And I can remember the first time we were out there, and so we're on a monohull. I hadn't learned about wibble wobble and won't fall over, yet. So anyway, we're all of a sudden, we're dealing way over, and I'm like, you got to let go of the main sheet and all this kind of stuff. And the instructor said, no, it won't turn over. And I said, everything I've been on up until this date will turn over. So I got educated on monohulls in that you do have the balance factor there. So, over the years, I've become very complacent with, not worrying too much about heeling over too much. So, but
Right.
anyway, I really think anybody that really wants to learn sailing and get a good feel for it, get on the little catamarans, the little Hobies or the Prindles, and 14 or 16, even 12, and just experience that, because you really get the feel of things. Okay,
All
sorry to
right.
take up so much time.
No, that's okay. Well, what I was going to say is, because of all your experience with sailing and flying, and you still fly in retirement,
Right.
a 737 for a rich guy, and
Yeah.
so you know weather, and you've always helped me with weather, and
Hmm. Yeah.
when I've with especially with making a crossing, like I've learned to look at it and read it, and we use passageweather.com,
Right.
and then I'll run it past you and see if you concur, and you might have a
Right.
suggestion, go a little day early, go a day later, whatever, and that to me has worked out the best. That I'm still, there's still, it's not a perfect system. You might even, I've been caught and stuff, but I've always appreciated your help, and how you sometimes stay awake through the night or wake up and check on me and on
Oh
the
yeah,
InReach
that's
Explorer, and that's that's
yeah.
nice. And Scott's doing the same thing. If he's here, he's
Yeah.
waking up and checking it, and
Yeah.
uh,
Scott's calling me or sent me a text in the middle of the night. Or sometime like, "Is she okay?" You're back, by
yeah.
the way. Your video was out for just a minute or two there, so I was
Oh,
kind of like the
okay,
star. I was the star of the show, sole star for just a little bit.
okay.
But yeah, that's you've really been good. And I guess that's been our biggest communication thing is going over weather, mainly when hurricane season comes. And
Right.
Mike's
And
weather
that's when
page
I like
has
to travel. A lot of people don't travel during that time, but I do
yeah, I
because
know.
it's
Well,
warm. I like to
makes
go
it
when it's warm.
that's warm and makes it exciting. There's
Right.
always something happening. But a big thing, about when you start talking about weather, and I think these are things you need to realize, and relating it to the aviation end. Aviation forecasts come out every 6 hours, and they're good for they're 24-hour forecast. It comes out every 6 hours. So every 6 hours, you're getting a new forecast,
Yeah.
and pilots are required to have the most recent forecast before you take off or go anywhere. And then
Right.
plus you supplement that with the hourly observations and different things and all that. But we can use the same thing in boating, so that a lot of times you say, "Oh, it looks like 2 days from now it's going to be nice across the Gulf and all that," and we say, "Okay," and you plan to launch out. If you can always wait and get current conditions, get current forecasts, at
Right.
least within 6 hours, let's say, because sometimes it looks like you're going to have such and such winds, and it changes. I know you just had a real exciting, we'll call it, trip across the Gulf this last one.
Uncomfortable Gulf crossing.
Yeah, and that was that was really awkward, because the old InReach had failed us, and you were because you were like, "What's going on?" Because it wasn't supposed to have been that way, and
Yeah.
and
And I don't
and it
know.
was
I
you.
don't even know if any forecasting would have
I could
helped.
get your well, I saw it change. I could get your email, but I couldn't get an email to go through to you. And then I was saying, and it was basically what Blaine had said. I think last week, Blaine was very good about stay close to the shoreline. And you was like, "How can I get out?" And I was like, "Head toward the shoreline." And
Yeah.
of course, it takes up a lot more time. But I
Yeah.
don't know why we had InReach is usually very, very good, and I don't know why we
Yeah.
had a
Well, most
problem.
people don't email on it. They text on it. So
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. You always seem to go the email route.
I don't know.
Maybe that's.
I think at one time I thought you couldn't text on it, and so I've gotten.
Well, you have to
Uh,
use the thread that when I send you got to use the thread. It looks like
oh
it's
yeah, yeah,
from a
yeah.
different
That's right.
number.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
can
Right.
text on that. Which
Okay.
go ahead. I have an
Let me
interesting
see.
story, but I'll tell you that later.
Okay. All right. So, we covered John. You live on your boat, and you still do. Oh, okay. So this is the view from John's boat. John, whenever I'm in Key West, he watches pretty much every night. You watch the sunset from your boat, don't you?
Right? Yeah, get a pretty good view of it.
And there it
And
is. That's the view from John's boat. I
yeah,
took that
good.
picture.
Yeah.
This is the one I took. I found
Oh, good.
several. And
It's
sometimes
really
there's boats in
interesting.
the way, but to that day there was no
Yeah,
boats in the way.
it's really interesting. So a lot of your really most beautiful sunsets are when there are clouds out there, because you can
Oh,
see this
sure.
after the sun goes down. You get all the orange and a little reddish, and so
Absolutely.
really pretty colors. And I've only seen the green flash one time.
I've
And
never
it's one
seen
of
it.
those things whenever you do see it, there'll be no doubt in your mind that you saw it. A lot of times you think, was that it? No. When you finally see the green flash, you will know you saw it. And it's
All right.
just it's like one of the little old Polaroid, the little flash cube cameras that had the little
Yeah.
it rotated around 4 times. Oh, there's
Now
a couple
these are
more pictures.
yours. These are your pictures that you
Yeah,
sent.
yeah. I think one of them we're underway there. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's
this we had gone to. You met me in Goodland as I was coming south from Marco. I went to Goodland in the Everglades, and you met me there. And
Mhm.
this and then to the right is Everglades City. So we went to Goodland, and then we went to Everglades City. So this is
Yeah.
just some
The
pictures.
old Rod and Gun Club. I highly recommend get there to go back in time. It's a fun little
A little
place.
maintenance deferred, but it's really cool. They don't have
Yeah.
any
Oh
air
yeah. Well,
conditioning in
yeah.
that place. It's
Yeah. They're not
but
good.
it
They get you with the charm, not the beauty of them. Yeah.
And then I've got something here I want to show. Let's see. Hold on. Hold on. So the place that we went to, here we go. The Krabby Lady. Remember this place? Oh, I lost you. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Okay, can you hear me now? Oh, no, we lost him. We lost him. Technical difficulties. I'm calling him on the phone. Can you hear me, Scott? Can you hear me? Yeah, but can you hear me on the I can't hear you. Did you unplug your headphones? Can you check the Hmm. Okay, well I can't hear you through there either, so we may have to can you check your connection there on your iPad? Ah, well, we might have a short conversation here. Well, let me show a couple more things here, and you'll just have to. Okay, why don't you leave the studio and come back in, and and we'll wait for you. Yeah. So this is John on his boat in Key West Bike Marina. This was 6 years ago. And he was taking me out. Let's see, what was 6 years ago? 2017. So this was the year after I met him. So we're leaving Key West Bike Marina there. And his boat is called the White Lady. All right. And let's go to Okay. Uh-oh. I hear you now. Can you hear
All
me?
right. Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay, good.
I
You can hear
guess
me through your
this.
headphones?
Oh yeah, I got you. It's like the old. Yeah, of course, most of your listeners are probably way too young to remember this. When you used to make a
Don't
pay phone call, and then you'd after about 3 minutes, 10 minutes, the operator say you got to put in 35 more
Yeah.
cents to keep talking.
I
So
just showed I just showed the video of you on your boat in Key West Bike Marina from 6
yeah,
years ago.
yeah.
And let's see what else we got here. Now this is John leading us out of the Everglades from either
I
Goodland
think
or
I think
Everglades
that's
City.
yeah. That looks like going out of Everglades City. I think, and that's
And
as
it
we
can
as
get a
we
little
know.
touch and go there.
Yeah, there's that one curve up there that you have to really hang toward the greens, and
Right. I got stuck because I
uh,
tried to go out at low tide.
yeah,
Not when I was with you, is when I
yeah,
came back through. And this
yeah.
is after we're out in Florida Bay, or is that over by the Marquesas?
I think that is coming back from the Marquesas. I think that's eastbound from the Marquesas.
Okay.
Best I can tell.
Now this is us at anchor, either Woman Key or the other one. What's the other one we went to?
Bahia Honda, not Bahia Honda, Boca Grande. I
Yeah.
think that's
So
Boca
this is
Grande.
that's your boat that I'm looking through, and we're
Yeah,
at anchor. And
yeah.
if for those who don't know, the Marquesas are a group of islands west of Key West. So you got Woman Key, Man Key, Boca Grande. Is it Boca Grande?
Whichever, Grande, whatever you want to call
Okay.
it.
And then we could have kept going to the Dry Tortugas, but I didn't want to go by myself and anchor out there. It's like what 50 miles up or 80 miles offshore or something.
It's 70 miles from Key West. So once
Okay.
you're at the Marquesas, you still have 35 more miles to go.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we were. My Starlink was working when we were at both of these stops,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to go and anchor by myself out there. So there's no cell service, but the Starlink does work. I got that report from the charter boat captains at
Yeah.
Key West
Okay.
Bight
That's good.
Marina.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna try doing a video again, so hopefully I don't lose you.
Oh,
This
okay.
is
If you lose me, we'll go back to
just
Plan B.
go out and come back in.
Yeah.
Wait, let me take this off and show. This is at anchor. You tell me which island was that? Is that Woman Key?
At anchor at a beautiful place, Boca Grande.
Oh, he can't hear me again. All right, is that Woman Key or Boca Grande? Yo. Uh, Okay. All right. So it's one of those, and he'll tell us. I'm going to show the dolphins on the trip back. Look at this. Look at those dolphins. Wow. Okay, John's coming back in. Here we go. All right.
Well, yeah, I'm back now. So
I guess we
I
have to just
guess
stay away from videos.
videos are a bad thing.
Yeah.
Video
I got
games, videos. Yeah. Yeah.
so I got a couple more. Make sure I hung up the phone. A couple more pictures here.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. I'll hang up with you, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah, this is after we were taking dips on our respective boats at the whichever Woman Key, Boca Grande. Keep forgetting.
Yeah.
That's at Anchorage.
Yeah.
Sunset.
Another nice sunset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's on the way back. I'm dragging the dinghy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a cool dinghy you have, by the way.
Thank you. Attack a cat. And that's it. And I do have another one where I was dinging past your boat. I guess we can't show. We'll try it at the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I hate losing, hate missing all the excitement here.
so tell me, I got a couple more questions for you. What's it like to live on a boat? They've got a lot of people that follow me on Salty Abandon that they want to do that or they want to do it part-time like me. What's it like to live on a boat?
Well, I guess there are two ways to live on a boat: at a dock or out on anchorage. A lot of people love being out on the anchorage. A lot of people have to do it out of financial necessity. That to me, I mean, that's a tough life out there. And I like being on the dock. I mean, it's almost like being in a house. I mean, I woke up, I'm 30 feet from all the harbor and all the restaurants, the brewery and everything.
All the
And
happenings.
yeah, the happening. So I can get into the happening in no time. So I like being at a dock. A lot
Yeah.
of people like being on the anchor, and so it's kind of your preference. But I like it at the dock because it's easy. You just step right off, and you're
Well, you got a great new location there on E-Dock. You're just steps away from the brewery.
Hanging on as long as we can here because it's
Yeah, you're grandfathered in. Like, just briefly.
yeah.
So they're not taking any more liveaboards there,
No,
right?
no, the state. A lot of people
John has
don't.
got a great monthly fee. You guys just wouldn't believe. You can't get you
Yeah.
can't get renting anything for that. You
Yeah,
know,
it'd be 3 times if I lose my grandfather, whatever. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, yeah. It is a nice setup.
Yeah. So
So
you like it, even though you got a lot of tourists going down the dock. You got those charter boats there, the with all the people overlooking when they get on the big, what do you call them, cattle boats, when they take them out for sunset cruises.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff,
yeah. All they run during the day. They'll run dolphins viewing snorkel trips, and then at the evening, everybody goes out for the sunset trips, and that's they just parade around. Several of them have live music. Several of them have live bands, and so it's kind of a neat little thing. So I'm right
You
in the
like
middle of
watching
all
all that?
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
like it. It's a lot of people don't like too much commotion around, but I kind of like it. It's it's kind of something going on all the time.
Now, how long have you had your slip? I think it's 2016.
No, 15 years now. And
Wow. Okay.
and the tough thing,
Wow, that's way off.
why the slips are why it's hard to hang on to the liverboard slips. This is the city. It's the city harbor, and even private. Any state land that a marina has, the state requires them to have 90% slips available for transits. So a lot of times you probably have seen, and people have seen, when you're reading about a certain marina, it says, "Oh, we offer 90% of our slips are available for transits." Well, that ain't because they're being really nice. They're required to by if it's state leased land. So we're under right here. This is kind of a tough thing because you got a lot of commercial, and we have to keep enough available for transits. And so it's.
Then why is it so hard for me to get a slip there?
Well, right now that's
because there's a lot of people that come down.
Yeah, I talked to Stan, and the whole marina is filled up until the middle of April. So it's just time. And you come in the summer.
This time of year,
yeah, you can usually get in if you come in the summer. But right now it's just hard. And they got the sailboat races going on right now, and that's pretty interesting. And they got a nice little competition or whatever. I guess it's a competition. It's called. It's going on tonight right there at Schooner's Wharf. It's called shots and knots. So you have to lay a line out. It has to be totally flat, and you drink a shot of rum. Then when you're ready to go, you turn around. You have your back to your line. You turn around and you tie a bowline quickly, and then you toss it about 10 feet over what would be a pylon, but they use just orange cones. Once you get it over the orange cone, you pull it back into you. You come over there and you chug a small cup of beer, put the cup on top of your head, make sure you've consumed all of it, and they keep the time going. And you will not believe what a guy that he used to work at West Marine, older guy about my age, his best time was 4.7 seconds. And that's tying a bowline, throwing it over a cone, pulling it back in, and chugging a beer.
Okay.
So it's fun, if you want to try that. But anyway, that's going on tonight. So
there's always a lot going on. Lots of going on at Key West. So tell me how you came to live on your boat in Key West. The short version.
Oh boy, this has it involves a pretty interesting story. One, I did have the boat in Cocoa Beach area, Port Canaveral, and so I guess if you're in the Atlantic up there, you go out in the Atlantic and you're just in a big ocean, so there's not anything doing it, so okay. So anyway, I knew the dock master down here, and called and got it worked out, and got a slip for 4 months. 4 months is the maximum transit, and so I came down for 4 months, and then I just kept putting the good word in for myself as best I could, and then eventually got a slip before they before they really started cutting back on the liverboards. So
And what's
I'm glad I
really
got in
cool
what I
is
did.
John's got his retirement job is in Ocala, right?
Orlando.
Orlando, and because he's retired from Southwest, he can just fly anytime he wants. He's got those benefits.
Right.
That's so you've got the best of a lot of different things working
Yeah, I
for
hope
you.
so. Yeah, I hope so. A good funny story about that. We bringing the boat down. The first time that we headed out, to bring, and this was not this Hunter 306. It was a regular 1980 30-foot Hunter, and we kept waiting for the good weather window, as you want to bring the boat down. We took off, and this what I'm getting into is how you got to constantly be updating yourself on your location, where you are, your navigation, and understanding dead reckoning and all that stuff. But anyway, so we head out, and we are hauling. I mean, in a 30-foot boat, and we're making 8 and 9 knots. Obviously, we have big winds behind us, and we have large swells that are pushing us along. So to make 8 knots in a 30-foot boat, you got to have the water pushing you. And so anyway, we decide, after we were just clearing. We said this is just going to be way too rough. So we decided, okay, turn back around, go back to Cocoa, Port Canaveral, and so we do that. But now we're only making about 2. Then it gets to be about 4 o'clock in the morning. And if you stay up very late, you start to hallucinate. You start to see, it just gets crazy. So now the GPS quits. And my point on this is we need to all have a good basis for dead reckoning. So anyway, the GPS quits, clicking along there, and we're trying to figure out where we are and all that kind of stuff. Finally, after a couple of hours of not knowing if we were at Melbourne, not knowing if we were at Cocoa Beach, where we were, and we finally turned on an iPhone maps said, "Oh, you're right here." So, but anyway, then the funny thing where you got to keep up with yourself and make sure you don't lose your mind. We're coming in there, and we're trying to find the entry to Port Canaveral, and so I have the chart out and I look, and it's got a steady green, out for the the number 1, or and so anyway, I see the green light over there. So okay, we get complacent, just drive toward the green light. So we do that, and after about 30 minutes, so bear in mind it's 4 o'clock in the morning. After about 30 minutes, the green light's gone and it's red. And we're like, oh, hell, where did that green light go? Because we relied totally on that light. Well, it turned out that was a traffic light out at the
Oh my God.
space Kennedy Space Center, Canaveral. So it was, it stays green until some worker comes by and it trips to the red, or for them to get there. So we're like, God. So then we're like, okay, we had to regroup, try to find the markers. So that's, you don't need to rely on, you get locked in tunnel vision, as we call it in aviation, and just start zeroing in on what you think is it. Because
Yeah.
how many times you think you've found a place and all of a sudden, oh, that's not it. We got 5 more miles up. So, but anyway, that's just over the years, you just collect crazy, stupid, funny things that you do that, as I've said, is all part of the experience.
That's what I love it. Right. So we have a few minutes left. I want to, if you would talk about and I don't have any visuals, but your keys loop that you do, just briefly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I first we were in Goodland, not the time that you and I were there, but and we pull in there, and I think it's January, February, and this guy says, "Hey, are you guys loopers?" I said, "Oh no, my last name's Fletcher," and he's like, "I like what?" I thought he was asking, "Are you Mr. Looper?"
The Great American Loop, right?
Yeah. So that whole thing, and everybody
right.
Probably well aware of that, and
everybody's doing that. Right? They're all coming south right now.
What's that?
They're all coming south right now.
Yeah,
they're doing the south end.
I didn't know anything about the loopers, and that was it's funny. As long as I've been around boats, I never knew that. So
yeah,
I don't get out and go very far, as you well know. So I've divided, and you're supposed to be coming up with a name for this, because I have the South Florida Keys loopers, which you go up the Atlantic side or either the Gulf side to Marathon, and then you come back on the other side. It's about 100 miles, and so that's my
Yeah,
big
but you
challenge.
have some
That's
stops along the way.
oh yeah, yeah. You got good
So
stops.
Newfoundland.
Yeah, Newfound Harbor is a great one,
Yeah,
and
I stopped there.
Dinghy over under the bridge to Kiki's is a good little place, and
Beautiful water, and it was very calm when I was there, so it was
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah,
And the water was
you're far enough inland on that thing, and it's good. So then you come around if you want a marina, Bahia Honda State.
Bahia Honda, yeah.
Yeah, the state park's good. Then go into Marathon, stay wherever you do, and then you first discovered the New Spanish Channel. To cut after you leave Marathon. It's a nice little
That's on the Gulf side. They call it the Gulf side.
Yeah, get over on the Gulf
north
side, and then there's a good stop in there, and you ding into No Name Pub, which is on Big Pine Key. And then, back down, and then there's several of nice keys.
And
along the way
you go up, and then you come out into the Florida Bay, and then come around to the Northwest Channel.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and cut the corner a little bit on the Northwest Channel, because you can easily do that to save 5 miles or so. But yeah, it's a great little loop. And
now, how long does it usually take you when I mean, you're not in a hurry or anything, but
spend 7 days doing it, because you go one night somewhere, and then just take it easy, and then Bahia Honda is a great state park. So.
Yeah. So when I was leaving Key West, I went up to, is it Newfound or Newfoundland? What is it?
Newfound
Harbor.
Newfound Harbor.
Okay, Newfound Harbor.
Yeah, because you were trying to find some smooth conditions.
And what was those two islands that are on either side of it?
Well, you've
Ramrod Key.
Yeah.
Where I stayed.
Yeah, and then you got Little Palm. Are you talking about Little Palm Island?
Yeah.
Well, if you got about it, the last time I checked on there, it was $800 a night to stay. In your boat. Of course, the cottages are. But it's an interesting place to stay. But it's probably around $1,000 a night now just to bring your boat in. And but if you're in a boat, you have full access to the pool and the restaurant and everything on it. So it's
okay.
Yeah,
and then you go up to Bahia Honda, and then you can anchor in Boot Key in Marathon.
Oh yeah.
Or there's a couple of nice marinas there.
Yeah, they're nice marinas up there.
Then you go under 7 Mile Bridge,
mm-hmm.
which is only one of 2 places you can actually cross to the other side. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I didn't get to do that whole loop this time, but I did plenty going all the way.
Oh yeah, I mean your adventures are huge. I mean, it makes of course. And I keep saying you need to start writing the cruising guide for the west coast of Florida.
Well, that's what these videos are about, right?
Yeah, you've been to so many good places, and you're gaining. Yeah, you've told me so much about the different things
on the west coast of Florida,
Pelican Bay and
Pelican Bay,
of course, Cabbage Key, and
sure.
There's so many good places up through there.
Even Fort Myers Beach, I went through there, and it's still devastated from Hurricane Ian.
Oh yeah,
2022. And when I stayed there, there was no power, but I was able to get tie up to there are 2 places that opened that one didn't have water and one didn't have water or power, but sometimes you just want to tie up to a dock, and that's good enough.
Oh yeah. That's but you do a good adventure there, and I know you have a lot of followers that keep up with you because I mean you're out to some different places, and you're able to present them and check them out, and
and that's what when I've got some interviews coming up soon. We've got some good people to interview. I'm gonna interview Hayden and Radine Cochran of the Island Packet community. I'm gonna interview Zern Rigging out of Pensacola. They're like the people for rigging in this area. Right. So I've put in some requests to interview some other people. I've got some full-time cruisers that have volunteered to be interviewed.
That'd be good.
I've been cruising for like 16 years, straight. Don't have a house, nothing. And they just move around. So How, well, John, is there anything else you'd like to cover? Did we miss
Oh,
anything?
I mentioned earlier about dead reckoning. You know, that's what
Oh, yeah.
you know, when you're learning to get a pilot's license, you have to do, you know, basically hold a heading, and then use the map to see where you are. And you have checkpoints. You plot your whole course. You know what the winds are. You think I'm going to be able to hold a 280 heading, and that will give you there. And then all of a sudden you check your checkpoints, and you're a little bit, you know, left or right. So you make an adjustment. I think it's you know, we are so spoiled now with having
Oh,
all
yeah.
these GPS and all of that kind of stuff. And you know, I'm super lazy with autopilot and a remote for the autopilot on the boat. But I would
Yeah.
encourage everybody to get. We did this one time years ago. Our three kids and the three kids that they grew up with, we had 10 of us, and we got a 38-foot catamaran down the out of Marathon, and it had a great autopilot, but no GPS. And it was so we went all the way to the Marquesas and all over the place, but it was so neat to go dead reckoning, and it builds your confidence, and so it makes you think about this stuff to say, okay, I've got this kind of drift. I've got I'm going to go this speed, so I should see red 10 in 2.5 hours. And it was so good. All the kids got into it. You know, they would be looking for it, and so it was nice, and it makes you where you don't lock in on something. And I would highly encourage everybody, when they just try to plan a big trip and get your maps out and do it dead reckoning. Yeah, charts. Yeah, charts is what we call it. Yeah.
No
Maps and
ropes on a
aviation
boat.
charts.
No maps on a boat.
That's right. Charts on a boat, maps in an airplane. Okay.
and no pulleys on a boat. Blocks.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna have you back on, and we're gonna talk about boat projects.
Oh yeah, gosh.
We're always sharing things. Things are always breaking. Things always need improvement or maintenance, or so. You'll come back on.
If you have a minute, I have one very interesting thing. You think you start talking about boat projects, and I've told you about this. You think you've learned I think I know diesel engines pretty well. And I was having problems with it over 2,000 RPMs. It would bog. It just wouldn't get much. Couldn't handle over 2,000. So I changed out both injectors, and then I went through bled the injectors, the whole thing, and still was not. It was not running good. So I said, I'm gonna bleed them again. Well, it's easier on the most any boat, especially the 2GM20. It's easier to take the air filter off to bleed.
And he's talking about a Yanmar.
Yeah, Yanmar. And it's easier to take the air filter off so you can get to the injectors to bleed them. So while I'm doing this, so I go down and I'm bleeding them as I have the engine revved up, and I'm feeling air coming out of the intake. Of course, air is supposed to be going in the intake, there. So anyway, long story short, it's a great lesson I learned only 2 years ago. The mixing elbow was about 80% clogged. So as you tried to run a high RPM, the exhaust couldn't go out of that. It had to back up somewhere, and it was backing up, through the inlet. So
so it needs to be taken. It needs every so often. I have it written down. You have to take it off and look and see if there's any corrosion or anything, right?
Yeah. Well, it's basically you get that soot from the exhaust, mixing with the salt water, and then obviously if that it's not flowing all the time, it cakes up, and that's what it did. It caked up, and so it's just like you say, to take it off and inspect it, that's not an easy job. So, and I've got an easy boat to work on. I'm sorry.
And I haven't said this on camera or anything, but that my Billy of 30 Degrees North sent my injectors off because there was some unburned fuel causing, what do you call it? It's causing.
You were getting a lot of pitting in your up through your cylinder head and your valves.
Yeah, so that's why I was getting that. Hopefully that's why. The white smoke when I was sometimes running at 2,800 RPMs, and then I'd have to drop it down. And I was trying to get out of those waves, so I really wanted more power. But they've been sent off to Pensacola, to the machine shop or whatever they send them to see if they can be ground down or what do they
Yeah,
do?
they hopefully they can clean that up, and then you basically lap the valves where you put a kind of a gritty compound in there, and you take like one of the little like a little rubber sticker thing, and you rub it with your hands back and forth to spin the valve, and it laps it, makes it have a good seat. So hopefully they'll be able to do that. And
Either that or I'll have to get new ones. And I
yeah,
mean,
it's
that's
just
not horrible. It's more the labor than
yeah,
anything, right?
yeah, it's just all part of the experience.
Yeah, and in this storm, I got some gashes in my gel coat. So as soon
Yeah,
as the boat is operating, because there's parts missing in the engine right now. As soon as it's
yeah.
operating again, then I'll be able to take it and get hauled out. They just told me today that it will have to be hauled out for the proper gel. Right now, it's probably too cold to do that kind of work.
Mhm.
But at that time, I'm just going to get them to repair any of the dings and everything that the boat's had over the years, and just do a total. It's going to look awesome. It's going
Yeah,
to.
and it'll be time for you to head back down south again.
That's right.
You got to do your
Yeah,
crossing and head back down. Of
I
course,
got to make some
I think
money.
Blaine Lashwick gave some good advice about the Gulf, and I know you've had that big challenge. I've I
He
admire
hates
you
the
taking.
Gulf.
I know, and I admire you taking that
Sometimes
straight
it's
shot
really
across, and
friendly, and sometimes
yeah.
it's not.
I like the Gulf, and I'm like Blaine. I like staying close to shore, and stay. But
It's
I
real
admire you.
shallow over there. That's the problem. It's real shallow over there on that shore up in the
Yeah,
Big Bend.
yeah.
So in order to make that trip, I need to sell some real estate.
Oh yeah, yeah. Everybody get off the
and
wallet, get you a condo.
and we're really good at it. Scott and I, aren't we, Scott? We're really good at helping people. I've been selling
Yeah,
real estate since
mhm,
2003 in this area.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah.
So
Good.
if anybody has any, oh wait, we got some comments here. Oh, here we
Oh,
go.
that's scary.
Uh,
You say,
Someone's
oh,
Mike Wack. He's an IP owner too. As you can see his boat there. It's too
it's the
cold
go.
in Orange Beach to see the tropics.
Come south, Mike.
Oh, and look, he has a compliment for you. That's an accomplished captain. I think
Oh,
that's
well,
for
thank you.
you. Oh, look at this. Here we go. Here we go. So glad you brought up Dead Reckoning. Regardless of how many electronic toys I have, the knowledge of that and paper charts and how
Yeah,
to use them are a requirement for a real cruiser.
yeah.
Thank you for
It
that
is a
comment, William.
yeah. It's great. I mean, being able to do that, and it's very rewarding when you all of a sudden you see your point, and then you make your adjustments. It's just it just takes we get so complacent, and lazy with all that stuff.
Yeah, and I had to learn all that too. And I was so nervous. If you remember on the captain's test, there's
Yeah,
four parts to it.
right.
And one of them was chart plotting, and you had to get
Uh huh.
90%. And there's 10 questions. So
Yeah,
you had to get 90% to pass. I
right.
did that one last. I was so nervous because one small error and you're going to a different part of the world
Oh yeah,
on
oh
your
yeah.
exercise. And I made 100%.
Oh yeah, good, good. Yeah, that's yeah. I do remember that. I like that because it's very that part's very similar to aviation. Just like half of the sailing things are the sail's very similar to an airplane wing.
Okay, so William has another comment. No clue about 200 stars. Never mind. So what?
all
I'm
right,
not sure what that means.
200 stars. I have no idea either, but
But then he says, "Great interview."
oh, well, thank you very
and
much,
then
William.
and then Rita says, "We enjoy the interviews. Keep them coming. Stay warm." Yes,
I'm
I'm going to be
trying.
doing.
It's
You can see the boat
66
there
here.
in the icon there next to her name. I'm
Yeah,
not sure what kind of boat that is. Rita, what kind of boat is
you.
that?
That looks like a Beneteau.
Yeah, is it a
Well,
Beneteau, Rita?
I can't see I don't have a very good picture of it, but
Um.
nice
So
boat
yeah,
though. Whichever one it is, it's a nice boat. So
well, we're gonna keep up. This is something I'm enjoying doing in the
and you're
off
doing a great job at it
season.
too.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
oh, Rita says it is an O
Oh
day.
day, okay, yeah, great boat, great boat,
Is
great
it
boat.
what size O day, Rita? I would love to know that. I have been on a couple O days. There's lots of room inside. Lots of headroom.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you need that. You need their
Even
headroom.
like the 24, even like
Hmm.
the O day 24, there's plenty of headroom.
Yeah. Oh, one other thing, dude, just to throw out, you get everybody thinking. I mean, I've been on boats for 50 years now. So you keep checking off things that you screw up or that you've done. And one thing I have not, of course, everybody's run aground. There's two kind of sailors. The ones that have run aground, the ones that lie about it. So,
yes.
But anyway,
or they haven't been sailing very long.
Yeah,
there's three.
So one thing I have not done yet is I have not hit a buoy or a marker yet. I have come very close 2 or 3 times, and but it's kind of you come kidding about it. Okay, I got to check off that I run aground. I got to check off that I've been lost. I got to check off different things. But
I'm sorry, Rita. Yes, this is my husband came and checked out the teak work on your last IP. Have a great evening. Yeah, they came down, tried to rescue my boat after the hurricane, and then it was just going to be too much money for me to do everything that needed to be done, including the teak. But yeah, so I know. Okay, thanks, Rita. I know who you are now, and she has a 240 a day.
Yeah.
Okay,
great
sorry
boat,
about that.
Boat.
Sorry to interrupt there, John.
Hey, that's no problem. I'm just blabbering as always. That's something.
Well,
So, but,
one thing about you I've learned is I say, John, I have this problem on the boat. It's doing this and that and the other thing, and you're like, you don't let it go. I'll get a text from you a day later. I've been thinking about your problem, and I think it might be. So it's like you can't get it out of your head. You're always trying to solve the problem. You're like a computer.
Yeah, well, it's fun to have a little challenge. And fortunately, my boat is very easy to work on. It's the Hunter 306, and it for a 30-foot boat, I can work on everything on the engine, every side of the engine, sitting in air conditioning without doing boat yoga. And everybody knows what boat yoga is when you have to lean over all kind of crazy ways to get some. But it's a very easy boat to work on, and so it's kind of fun when you have a little problem. Give you a little challenge. But lately, nothing's breaking, so I'm kind of just
better knock on wood.
Yeah,
better knock on wood.
Yeah,
I thought I was going to make it home, and I got to Tarpon Springs, and all hell broke loose.
Yeah, you talk about that white smoke. I've had that happen one time on a boat at night, and it's kind of one of those things like okay, I think my peripheral vision is seeing smoke.
I know.
And you kind of want to say, no, okay, done. Yeah, just keep going. And all of a sudden you say, I'm really seeing smoke. So anyway,
well, I mean, there was
that,
and then there was my almost brand new freshwater pump. Something went wrong with that. They sent it off because it's still under warranty. My manual toilet the handle got stuck up right at the end of the trip. Now Billy's already fixed that, and it was not a fun. We won't go into that. It wasn't a
Billy
fun.
Billy is really
he
sharp.
handled it. Yeah, he handled it.
Mm-hmm.
And then what else? The rear seal leak. So he tackled the rear seal leak. He tackled the fuel injectors and and it was kind of a 1,500 hour overhaul type thing for the engine.
Yeah. Wow.
And so I've got it on a schedule now, and so it was time for that, and that was good timing. Okay, I think. What do you think? I think we're until next time.
Until next time, this was great to visit with you, and I'm sorry to complain about the 68-degree chill down here.
Some of these folks that are watching are in some really cold weather.
I know. I shouldn't be talking about how I'm hoping FEMA shows up and all that. I mean, I should just be satisfied. Yeah, FEMA. I come down here and take care of them when it goes below 70 degrees.
Oh my God.
Federal Emergency Management, whatever they are. But anyway, no, it does a really good to visit with you. And once again, I admire the way you and then Scotty, when he gets on there, the way you guys attack it and you go after it, and you're not afraid of anything. And that's
you just take all the precautions you can, and then risk reward, right? And you go for it.
Yeah. You just head out and go, and that's really good. And it's you're should be a great inspiration to a lot of people to get out and get on the water and go. I need to get out and do more. I got to do more than just the Lower Keys loop. I got to be a bigger looper.
Next year, we got to go to the Dry Tortugas. I got to scratch it off my list. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
But I'm not
that
going to
is
go out
that
there
is
by
good.
myself. And I mean, I'm not a scaredy cat, but there are
Yeah.
certain things that are just not smart. And
Well,
I
we
just wouldn't want to
just
be all the way out there on the hook all by myself,
yeah. Well, this past time when you were down there, we just never could get a good window to go because, I mean, you don't want to be out there with too stormy,
Yeah. Big
So and
seas.
and and I know you and I both we don't like the too rough
I
of
don't like
weather.
it too rough.
So
Yeah.
you want you just could never get a good window to go all the way out there and back.
Well, plus you had to go. Remember, you had to go out of town.
Oh yeah, I've always a
The
little bit in
airplane.
demand. Yep. So, but anyway, yep. Get ready, get your boat all gel coated up and engine up, and get ready to
We
head
got
back
5
down.
stars here from William. Look at that.
Oh yeah, thank you, William.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
get
William.
yourself ready. It's time to head back down because you want to come through Goodland while it's still in season. So
Yeah.
you're gonna need
Yeah.
to be heading out pretty soon.
At the Crazy Lady, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a
All
lot of
right,
good places.
John. We got to leave them wanting more. So
All
you're
right.
going to come
Yep.
back, okay?
Tell the sponsors thank you, and everybody get out there and get to that condo. All right.
All right.
Take
Yeah,
care.
please do. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.